Hello. Welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz. I'll be guiding you on this journey. And this journey is going to be a little bit different because we're going to do a look ahead to 2024. I've been doing these readings and every single one of them has been so effing cool. And I love the vibe that is coming through with them. So like I said, it's more of like an overview for the year. It could be energy that you're feeling now. It could be energy that you're, of course, looking forward to. So it is a 7-card spread, and I'll just kind of go through what those 7 positions are, and then I might put a key just on this side of the screen. Maybe, I don't know. I'll try it and see how it looks. And if it looks dumb, I'm not going to do it. So if you don't see it, then it looked dumb. But, and if you're like me, you may not even watch the actual video, but more just listen to it and do a bunch of other stuff or play games on your phone or something. That's what I do when I watch videos or listen to videos. So it may not matter to you anyway, unless of course you do actually watch the actual video instead of just listening to it. So the first position is clarity, what your personal theme for 2024 will be. The second position is the horizon, what you can expect in 2024. Third position is strength, how to harness your inner power. Fourth position is sunset, what you're leaving behind in 2023. Advice, the lesson that you learned in 2023 is the 5th position. The 6th position is the obstacle or challenge you'll face in 2024. And then lastly, the 7th position is navigation, and that's guidance for the year ahead. So that's what we're going to do this time around. And all right. So this is the reading for the 5-2 or Heretic Hermit profile. If you don't know what your human design profile is, there is a link in the description below to get it. It's one of many useful bits of information on your human design body graph. But for the purposes of these readings, I'm going by profile. So I'm just going to shuffle while I talk, and once I'm done shuffling, I'll split the deck twice, and I'm going to take the middle deck and we'll take the top 7 cards off of it, and then of course I will explain each position as we go. And then I will also repeat myself a million times, like being that this is the position of blue, 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 right? Okay, so I usually have little blurbs of information regarding your profile, and I don't this time. I mean, I do in my phone, but I don't, I honestly just didn't even think about getting those out and together and whatever, so I'm just going to save those for the next time. Anyway, let's just shuffle a few more times. Again, this is a look ahead at or into 2024. You could be feeling these energies now. January 1st is just another date with a different year attached to it. So it's not, like magically we wake up and something new happens, which would be amazing. But again, right, these could be energies that you could be feeling now or not. It could be a complete surprise. All right. Here we go. 1, 2. All right, so your personal theme for 2024 is the Ace of Swords. I'm laughing because this was one of the cards that popped out or turned over or something while I was shuffling, but we're just not taking jumpers this time around. What you can expect in 2024 is the Three of Wands. I love that. You're going to hear me say that probably a lot too. And I mean it every single time. How to harness your inner power is the Two of Swords. What you're leaving behind is the Emperor. Lesson you learned in 2023 is the Cozy Witch, which is the Fool card. A challenge you'll face in 2024 is the Ace of Wands. And interestingly enough, this is also a card that flipped over, I think, at some point. And I was even thinking in my head while I was cutting the deck, I wonder if we're going to see these two cards. So it's kind of crazy that here they are, right? Like, yes, you will. And then guidance for the year ahead is the King of Cups. Love that. Okay, so let me move these up here a little bit. So, your personal theme for 2024 is the Ace of Swords. It says, look at you. You're bursting with sparkly new ideas. So, yeah, new inspiration, new ideas. Swords have to do with our mind. How do we think about things? How do we process things in our brain? I see swords as also being associated to ego, because that's generally where we hear ego is in our minds. And our ego is created by the stories that we attach to experiences, people, feelings, just certain points in our life. It's also the reason why we do things and why we don't do things, right? So that's why I also associate swords to ego. And swords also deal with divine truth. It's objective truth. So with it being an ace, right? It's something new. It could be a new idea that's formulating, or it could be downloaded into your brain at some point. It could be being inspired by something new. There could be a truth that you discover either about yourself or something in your life that kind of, starts to snowball or starts kind of a domino type of effect. And, being a fifth line, it could be something that is just heretical, right? I mean, it could be something that's less traditional, a little outside of the box too. I keep getting this feeling about popping a balloon with just the way that they're holding the sword for some reason. Like, it feels like a needle. And of course, I mean, it's kind of smaller, so that could be why I'm getting like needle feeling. But I just keep seeing this image of popping a balloon. So what you can expect in 2024 is the Three of Wands. Put yourself out there and you'll be rewarded one way or the other. Love that because we start with this new idea, this new inspiration thing here, right? And again, even if it is a truth that you uncovered or realized about yourself, then there immediately seems to be this opportunity here to take some sort of action in how you are going after things, how you are showing up, how you are being perceived even. The Three of Wands, well, wands have to do with action. It's a motivation behind the actions that we take. It's fire, right? So all things fiery, it's creativity, it's passion, desire. What actions are we taking towards those things? How are we communicating those things? So there could even be a new idea around something that you are passionate about, around a desire that you have, around how you express yourself creatively. And the Three of Wands is like when we start actually taking action towards those things. So we start with the Ace of Wands, which we'll get to, but the Ace of Wands is that spark, right? And then the Two of Wands is like, okay, now what do I do? Like, what are the possibilities? What actions can I take towards acting on this new found lease on life, or this new desire, this new passion that I discovered? And the Three of Wands is starting to take those steps towards those things. It's broadening your horizons. I love the body language here, their heart or their hands on their heart. So again, it just has this feeling about whatever this is for you, even though, we don't necessarily have cups until the end with the King of Cups, but it's something that it's almost like within you, right? It's something that you know to be true for you. You know in your heart that this way of expressing, this way of acting, this way of, creativity is true for you. How to harness your inner power is the Two of Swords. It says, wake up. What is it that you truly want? I just I feel like that card is such a read. And it says indecisive witch on the top, because that is, and again, we even have the Ace of Swords and the Two of Swords here, in the same reading, which is amazing. And especially the theme and how to harness your inner power. Make a decision. Literally, right? There is no wrong decision. And again, this is the second time that I'm even bringing this up, and I swear, okay, so I watched the Matrix, is it Resurrections, I think, last night? It's the newest one. And I watched it, I think it came out in 2021. I watched it when it came out in 2021, and I was like, what the fuck is this? I just thought it was kind of corny, I don't know. I remember thinking the same thing when I watched the original Matrix for the first time when I was a teenager. But then every time I watched it thereafter, I was my mind was blown every single time. So I was watching Matrix Resurrections last night, and I think it's the White Rabbit. I don't know what her name is in the movie, but she says to Neo something along the lines of, that choice is an illusion because you already know what you have to do. That's what the Two of Swords is. You already know what you have to do, what you even want to do. The problem is ego is preventing you. It's jumbling things up, which is also why in the realm of human design, we don't make decisions from our headspace. It's a pressure center. So, things are just kind of dropping down into, we don't even know if the ideas that we have are ours, depending on, of course, if your head is defined or not. Either way, though, it can be so easy to get kind of lost up in there. So we don't make decisions from the head center. We allow those things to come into our consciousness, and then we let them kind of sink down into our body and go through the filter of our strategy and authority. I swear, every single reading I've done, when it comes to this position, it's like strategy and authority, strategy and authority, strategy and authority, which we're talking human design here. But, your strategy and authority is designed to help you enter into quote unquote correct experiences for you. And your profile is how you interact with the energy, the people, in those experiences. So, if you feel like you have, or you easily fall into a place of indecision, remember that you already know what you have to do, what you want to do. It's a matter of literally doing it. So this is, to me, since it's in a position of how to harness your inner power, be decisive. Connect with your strategy and authority, even if it doesn't make sense to you. If it's not going to harm you, it better not. Even if it doesn't make sense for you, why your strategy and authority is kind of, guiding you in these ways, right? Trust that within yourself. But if you find yourself in your head in this tug of war, then like, again, allow that to sink into your body and go through the filter of your strategy and authority. What you're leaving behind in 2023 is the Emperor. It says being the authority of your own life comes with a lot of responsibility. And the Emperor, I feel like the Emperor in this position is you're leaving behind this being really rigid type of thing and like super rule follower, or not that there's anything wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm definitely a rule follower too, but it's like stepping outside of, and especially being, again, that fifth line, it is stepping out of tradition in some aspect. It's allowing yourself, because all of that tradition shit is conditioning. And again, right, that conditioning tends to, of course it lives in our body too, but I feel like it just, like the words, or like, how we interpret it comes up into our head. Like there's that book, The Body Keeps the Score, right? But it's also like, we have to process it, or like put words to it, or the self-sabotagey stuff like tends to happen more in our mind as opposed to our body. But the Emperor is the divine masculine. It could be a father figure. There could be some sort of conditioning around the father figure, not wanting to disappoint, or, having to be a certain way or do certain things, have a certain job, blah, 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 because of conditioning. And with the Emperor being the divine masculine, it's all things divine masculine. And it doesn't necessarily, of course, since it is divine masculine, it does have the father figure, authoritative, type of vibe to it. But it's the energy of the divine masculine. So it doesn't have to be gender based. But, when we think divine masculine, we think go-getting. We think initiating, kind of, like bulldozing, protecting. Like I said, like being more rigid and less bendable. It's law and order. Whereas, as opposed to the divine feminine, who is receiving, intuitive, expansion, right? Like, so being in the position of what you're leaving behind, it would be leaving behind this rigidness. It is leaving behind, almost even kind of like being stuck in a box in some capacity, especially with the Three of Wands being what you can expect in 2024. Put yourself out there and you'll be rewarded one way or another. Like, this person only puts themselves out there in one capacity. They only allow themselves to be put out there in a very, kind of put together, very, I keep saying the word rigid, but like, and this is what you're leaving behind. The lesson that you learned in 2023 is the Fool. It says, take a chance, for each morning is a new beginning. I love that, especially coming under the Three of Wands, because maybe even too, like you did discover about yourself your ability to take risks, because the Fool is definitely a risk to take. It's a leap of faith, but it's trusting that the net is going to appear to catch you, and it always does. But it's also even the value and the importance of taking those risks, of taking that leap of faith. And I love how they're in the mirror, really kind of hyping themselves up, because again, right, there could have been a change in how you are presenting yourself. Maybe you started dressing in a way that is more comfortable to you. Like maybe you're just kind of playing with that a little bit. Maybe you're playing with makeup, your hair, whatever. I mean, of course, this isn't gender related at all. But, if you, again, I was even saying with the Emperor, if you have been showing yourself in a certain capacity or in a certain light, this is like, look how different these two even are also. So, with the Fool being the lesson that you learn, that's definitely something new. And especially with the Ace of Wands being your personal theme for 2024, this would have happened already, which is almost kind of creating this new inspiration. It's allowing for the energy or even the space to be available for this new idea to come in, for this new truth to be harnessed, for this balloon to be popped even. Since I was talking about that at the beginning. A challenge you'll face in 2024 is the Ace of Wands. And it says, don't you see how your passions make you glow? This feels like not believing in yourself. Especially with it under the Two of Swords. And I mean, the spread isn't like designed to go this way, like these two cards, these two cards, these two cards. But it just so happens that just the way that they are laid out is so perfect, because this is how to harness your inner power. This is a challenge that you're going to face. And it's kind of like these should be switched. Like how to harness your inner power being the Ace of Wands would be, and then the challenge being the Two of Swords. So it's interesting that they feel flip-flopped. And since that is what the feeling is, what the vibe is, I mean, this could even be feeling like you don't have the energy. It could be burnout also, because it is in the challenge position. The aces are a new beginning. It could be that there's going to be a lot of start and stops. It could be that there's going to be a lot of even distractions, because again, going back, wands are the actions that we take, the motivation behind those actions. It's creativity, passion, desire, right? This is that brand new like spark. It's a new creativity. It's a new creative project, venture, something desirable, showing up in your life. So with it being in the challenge position, again, you can feel burnt out. You could feel that you're almost kind of being bombarded by, desires and passions, like things that you want to try, because that's also very wands is, we try things. And by trying things, we discover what we like, what we don't like, what works, what doesn't work. And even too, like having the second line, that hermit line, just be sure also that you are scheduling in downtime. Even if you're not a sacral being, even if you are, because even, generators and manifesting generators can definitely burn out. I'm a manifesting generator and still recovering from burnout, but be sure that you are scheduling in rest and alone time. It doesn't have to be like you're laying prone on your couch or bed or whatever. It doesn't have to be that, but whatever feels restful for you. It could be reading, it could be yoga, it could be sleep if that's what you need. But the hermit line, it needs that time alone. You need to, kind of honor that. You go into your hermit cave and regroup, rejuvenate, so that this candle doesn't burn out or doesn't burn down too fast either. And then guidance for the year ahead is the King of Cups. It says, always compose yourself before giving a response. And again, right, this is the only water card that's out here. Kings are the highest expression of the suit. Cups have to do with our emotions, our heart center, which is interesting that the Three of Wands is holding their hands at their heart center. It's also interesting too. I'm just like staring at this Two of Swords. I hope you can, it looks kind of dark. I don't know. Their hand is up by their throat, kind of by the heart too. And their other hand, like one hand is up here, the other hand is down by the sacral and the root. So that's just catching my attention because it's kind of like the battle between those things. And the root center is also a pressure center, a pressure to move, a pressure to do something. The throat is, like pressure to talk. It's not a pressure center, but it's, speaking, manifesting, like words into existence. Heart center is, I'm connecting it to cups. But of course, in human design, it's the will center or ego. This even feels like self-care to me. And this almost kind of feels like what I was talking about with the Ace of Wands, about being sure that you are scheduling downtime, alone time, rest time, because there's nobody else in this card. Granted, there's nobody else in any of the other cards either, but it has this feeling of going slow. Like they're pouring coffee or tea for themselves. But it just like, it has this vibe, this feeling to me of going slow, of like, allowing yourself to wake up naturally, if that's accessible to you, right? Like wake up naturally and, just kind of flutter into the kitchen and make yourself, kind of slowly make yourself coffee or tea or whatever it is that you kind of get your morning started with. And even compose yourself, right? I love that. And especially that being the guidance for the year ahead. Take things, like nothing in here necessarily has to go very fast. Even, with it in the proximity to the Two of Swords, you don't have to be impulsive, but also you don't have to get stuck in indecision either. I love it. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.